You stand at the edge of morning, where the world is still hushed and soft. The sky above is a delicate wash of pale colors, the kind that hold their breath just before sunrise. Slowly, the first fingers of sunlight stretch across the horizon, like gentle hands brushing over the earth's skin. This light is not loud or blinding. It is a whisper, a tender secret breathed softly into the waking world. As you watch, the sunlight spills into a quiet forest glade, its golden threads weaving through branches and leaves, dappling the ground with gentle patterns. Every leaf seems to catch the light differently, as if each one listens carefully to the sun's soft call. The leaves are alive, though still and silent, waiting to receive this precious gift. Their surfaces, smooth and delicate, shimmer faintly, not with flash or glare, but with the quiet shimmer of possibility. This light carries more than warmth. It brings energy, a life force traveling across millions of miles of space to arrive here in your hand, in your breath, in the very air you feel. It is the breath of the sun itself, traveling as tiny packets called photons, little messengers of light, each one carrying a spark of power. When these photons touch the leaf, they awaken something ancient and wondrous, a dance that has played out for billions of years. You imagine this dance unfolding like a quiet melody, soft and rhythmic, where sunlight and leaf become partners. The leaf, in its infinite patience, waits with open arms, its surface a stage of microscopic cells and pigments tuned perfectly to catch this light. As photons arrive, they are gently caught, like raindrops caught by a spider's web, each one slipping into the intricate machinery hidden within the leaf's green depths. This moment feels sacred, the meeting place of sky and earth, of light and life. The leaf drinks in the photons, transforming them silently, invisibly, into energy that will nourish the plant's growing body. It is a slow and steady process, as natural as breathing, unfolding in the quiet green world beneath the trees. The air around you is cool and soft, filled with the faint scent of earth and growing things. You breathe in slowly, feeling the rhythm of life moving through you, a gentle pulse that echoes the leaf's own quiet work. You begin to sense that this whisper of light is not just a moment, but a beginning, the first note in a vast, unending song. With every passing second, the sunlight grows stronger, stretching its warm fingers deeper into the forest. The shadows retreat quietly, folding back like curtains drawn at the end of a slow dance. And yet, the light remains gentle, never rushing, simply inviting life to unfold at its own tender pace. You feel connected to this quiet magic, a witness to the unseen exchange happening all around you. The sun sends its gift. The leaf accepts it, weaving it into the fabric of life. This is the heartbeat of the world, a pulse of energy flowing through every green thing. As the sun rises higher, you notice the leaves begin to glow softly, their green deepening, shining with the light caught inside them. It is as if each leaf holds a tiny sun of its own, a miniature world where light and life entwine. This quiet radiance feels like a secret shared between you and the earth, a lullaby sung in green and gold. In this stillness, you come to understand something simple and profound. Life is a gift given by light. Without the sun's gentle whisper, there would be no growth, no movement, no breath. The leaves hold this truth quietly, carrying the promise of energy and nourishment in every cell. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine the journey of a single photon, traveling through space, crossing the vast emptiness, to land softly on the skin of a leaf. It is a long journey, made meaningful by the gentle transformation that follows, a journey from light into life. As you open your eyes, you realize the day is awakening fully now, each ray of sunlight a thread, weaving the world together. The dance between sun and leaf continues endlessly, a quiet miracle happening with every breath you take. And as you breathe in the gentle morning air, you wonder, how do these delicate green mirrors capture light so perfectly? How does the leaf turn this whisper of sunlight into the energy that feeds the world? The answers lie just beneath the surface, in the quiet architecture of leaves themselves, waiting patiently for you to look closer, to listen more deeply and step gently into the next chapter of this luminous journey, you find yourself drawn again to the quiet presence of a single leaf, held gently by a slender branch. It sways softly in the breeze, like a mirror catching the day's first light. Its surface gleams not with sharp reflections, but with a gentle shimmer, like a lake resting still under a pale sky. This leaf, simple yet exquisite, holds a secret world within it. Look closely, and you see how the leaf surface is more than just a green face. It is a carefully crafted stage for sunlight's delicate performance. The waxy coating, thin and smooth, acts like a quiet shield, balancing between letting in light and protecting the leaf from the thirsty sun. It's a guardian, soft but strong, ensuring the leaf's inner workings can breathe gently and safely. The shape of the leaf is no accident, but a dance of purpose and form. Its wide, flat surface stretches outward like an open hand, ready to catch the sun's generous gift. Each leaf is angled and positioned just so, making the most of every ray, inviting sunlight to play upon it like a treasured visitor. You imagine this design as a quiet embrace, where the leaf stretches toward the sky with patient grace. Veins run through the leaf like delicate rivers, carrying life-sustaining water and nutrients from roots deep in the earth. These veins weave a hidden network beneath the surface, a map of sustenance that nourishes every cell. As you trace their path with your eyes, you sense a quiet harmony, form and function moving in gentle balance, like dancers moving in perfect rhythm. Beneath the surface, the leaf cells are arranged like tiny rooms in a vast house. Each one is filled with chloroplasts, the tiny factories of light, where photons find their new purpose. You picture these cells like individual lanterns glowing softly in the dim interior of the leaf, catching each beam of light and transforming it with gentle alchemy. The leaf surface also plays with light in subtle ways. Some of the sunlight reflects back, a soft gleam that helps keep the leaf cool, while other rays bend and twist as they enter, scattering into every nook and cranny. This gentle bending is like sunlight whispering its secrets deeper into the leaf, reaching the hidden chloroplasts waiting to capture its energy. You feel the calm patience in this process. No rush, no noise, just steady and sure. The leaf is both mirror and window, catching the light and inviting it inside, transforming brightness into nourishment. This is not a hurried transaction, but a slow, rhythmic exchange, like breathing in sync with the world around it. As you linger, you notice how the leaf's edges are soft and varied, sometimes smooth, sometimes serrated, each contour shaped by nature's hand to catch and hold the light differently. These subtle differences remind you that every leaf is unique, a small masterpiece tuned to its place in the vast symphony of life. You reach out your hand, imagining the sunlight crossing the tiny distance from the sky to the leaf surface, touching it lightly, like a whispered greeting. The leaf responds by opening itself wider, gathering every ray, turning itself into a living mirror reflecting life's endless energy. This delicate balance between light and leaf is the first step in a greater journey, a silent transformation where sunlight becomes the quiet currency of life. It is a process so gentle, so rhythmic, that it feels like the heartbeat of the world itself. And as you watch, the leaf seems to glow faintly, a secret light held close within. You wonder what lies beyond this shimmering surface, what unseen magic turns these captured photons into the nourishment that fuels forests, fields, and all growing things. The leaf is a keeper of ancient wisdom. Its veins and cells a map waiting to be explored. The dance of form and function continues, unfolding quietly beneath the green skin, beckoning you gently toward the next step, where the secret of chlorophyll, the leaf's green heart, will sing its soft, shimmering song. As you step deeper into the quiet world inside the leaf, you find yourself surrounded by a symphony, one not of sound, but of light and color, rhythm and motion. This is the secret music of chlorophyll, the pigment that bathes the leaf in green and catches the sun's light like a master conductor leading an orchestra. Chlorophyll is the heart of this leafy performance. It is a molecule shaped by nature's gentle hand to capture sunlight with exquisite precision. Imagine chlorophyll as tiny emerald singers, scattered across the leaf's surface and interior, each ready to catch photons, those shimmering messengers of sunlight. As they arrive, when a photon touches chlorophyll, it is like a note struck on a piano, a spark of energy sent rippling through the molecule. This energy pulses, vibrating softly, like a delicate hum that spreads throughout the leaf cells. It is a rhythm born of light, steady and sure, carrying the promise of transformation. You feel the pulse as a gentle wave, washing through the chloroplasts, the tiny green organelles where this magic happens. Each chloroplast is a tiny concert hall, where chlorophyll and other pigments gather in elegant arrays, like musicians tuning their instruments before a great performance. This concert is silent to your ears, but alive with motion and energy. The chlorophyll molecules absorb light, mostly in the blue and red parts of the spectrum, leaving green light to bounce back. That's why leaves glow with their rich emerald hues. This green light is the pigment's signature song, a color born from the interplay of light and matter. Inside this quiet orchestra, the captured energy begins its delicate dance. The energy excites electrons inside the chlorophyll, lifting them to a higher state, much like a note rising in a melody. These energized electrons then travel along a series of microscopic pathways, passing their energy from molecule to molecule in a carefully choreographed flow. This flow is called the light-dependent reactions, the first movement of the photosynthesis symphony. Here, light energy is converted into chemical energy, stored briefly in molecules named ATP and NADPH. These molecules are like tiny battery packs, quietly holding power that will be used in the next phase of this unfolding story. It is a process both precise and poetic, where every step flows into the next with graceful continuity. The leaf is alive with this steady pulse, the light's energy becoming potential, a promise waiting to be fulfilled. You imagine the chloroplasts as miniature concert halls, walls lined with proteins and pigments working in perfect harmony. Their movements choreographed by evolution's gentle hand. Each component plays its part, from the antenna pigments that gather light to the reaction centers where electrons leap into motion. This transformation is astonishing, just in its complexity, but in its quiet efficiency. The sun's energy, traveling across the vastness of space, arrives here and is captured, converted, and stored, all within the delicate confines of a leaf. As this symphony continues, you feel a deep connection to the slow unfolding of life itself, carried on waves of light and molecules dancing in rhythm. The leaf is not just a passive recipient of sunlight, but an active participant in a timeless, intricate performance that fuels every green thing on earth. The chlorophyll symphony hums softly, its rhythms echoing the cycles of day and night, the ebb and flow of energy that sustains forests, fields, and gardens. It is a quiet miracle, played out countless times every moment, yet always new and fresh in its beauty. As dawn's breath stirs the world awake, this symphony of light and life reaches a crescendo, the first notes of transformation, where captured energy will soon become the food that nourishes growth. But this song, like any great music, holds more movements yet to come. You pause, your senses attuned to this silent melody, wondering what other hidden wonders lie deeper still. The subtle exchanges of water, carbon dioxide, and the delicate alchemy that turns light into sugar. The symphony lingers softly in your mind, a promise of discovery waiting just beyond the leaf's shimmering green. You close your eyes and imagine the journey of water, beginning deep underground, where roots stretch quietly through the soil, thirsty and searching. Water gathers there, a cool, gentle presence, waiting patiently to rise. It begins its slow climb, drawn upward by forces unseen, moving steadily through the narrow veins of the plant stem. This ascent is a soft, relentless travel. Water, slipping through tiny channels, called xylem, like a river flowing through a hidden network of glass tubes. It carries minerals and nutrients along its path, delivering a nourishing gift to every cell it meets. The flow is silent and smooth, steady as your own breath. Feel the coolness of this water as it moves, a soothing caress within the plant's body. It is life's quiet pulse, unseen but essential, threading its way through stems and leaves with gentle purpose. Without it, the leaves could not hold their shape, nor could the chlorophyll sing its green song. Inside the leaf, water spreads out into even smaller passages, reaching every living cell like a loving touch. It fills the spaces within, keeping the cells firm and plump, their walls stretching softly with moisture. This turgor pressure is what gives the leaf its gentle resilience, its delicate yet steady strength. Water is more than support, though. It is a key partner in the leaf's alchemy, a vital whisper in the chorus of photosynthesis. When sunlight awakens chlorophyll and energy pulses through the leaf, water steps forward quietly to play its role. You picture water molecules splitting apart under the influence of light, a gentle but profound act called photolysis. This breaking of water releases oxygen into the air, the very breath you draw with calm awareness, and supplies electrons needed for the photosynthetic dance. Water gives up tiny parts of itself, just enough to keep the rhythm going, a generous yet delicate sacrifice. The oxygen escapes, drifting softly away, joining the vast sky above. It is the leaf's gift back to the world, a breath exchanged in a slow, steady cycle. You inhale this invisible gift, feeling connected to the gentle flow of life around you. Meanwhile, the electrons and hydrogen ions from water fuel the leaf's internal energy factories. They travel through complex pathways, helping to convert sunlight into the chemical energy stored in molecules like ATP. This transformation is slow and deliberate, like the measured steps of a quiet dance. Water's touch extends beyond just chemistry. It cools the leaf through a gentle evaporation called transpiration, a soft sigh that helps regulate temperature and draws more water upward from the roots. This endless cycle links earth, leaf, and sky in a seamless flow. You imagine standing beneath a tree on a warm day, feeling the soft breeze that carries water vapor away from leaves, each tiny drop a note in the song of life. The tree drinks deeply from the earth, sending this water skyward in a slow, endless exchange. This patient journey of water is a quiet miracle, invisible to most, yet essential to every leaf's life. It moves without hurry, steady and sure, a gentle pulse weaving through the plant's veins like the calm beat of a heart. You sense the water's cool presence beneath your skin now, the same steady force that courses through roots and stems, carrying nourishment and life's promise. It is a silent partner, humble but vital, holding the leaf in a soft embrace as sunlight sings its symphony. And as you feel this connection, you begin to wonder about another invisible traveler, the silent breath of carbon dioxide, floating gently around you, ready to join this quiet dance of light, water, and life. You breathe deeply, feeling the cool air enter your lungs, invisible yet essential. Around you, carbon dioxide drifts quietly, an unseen traveler floating softly between sky and earth. You cannot see it, but it moves gently, a silent breath shared in an ancient conversation between the world and its green leaves. This gas, light and delicate, holds a quiet power. It is the invisible thread that connects you to the vast cycles of life, weaving a slow, steady dance between the atmosphere, the plants, and the soil beneath your feet. You feel yourself part of this endless exchange, breathing in sync with the world around you. As carbon dioxide approaches a leaf, it enters through tiny gateways called stomata, small pores on the leaf surface, like secret doors opening, just wide enough to welcome it inside. These stomata pulse gently with the breath of the plant, opening and closing in a slow rhythm, a quiet pulse echoing the flow of life itself. Inside the leaf, carbon dioxide meets the products of sunlight and water, the energy-rich molecules created by chlorophyll's symphony. Here, in the softly lit chambers of the leaf, carbon begins its transformation. Through a delicate process called the Calvin cycle, Carbon atoms are woven into sugars, sweet and sustaining. You imagine this process like a careful weaving of threads, where each carbon atom finds its place in a growing fabric of life. The sugars formed are the leaf's gift, nourishment not just for itself, but for the entire ecosystem, feeding insects, animals, and even you. This sugar is the currency of growth, the quiet fuel that builds stems, roots, and fruits it carries. The story of sunlight, water, and carbon all bound together in a tender embrace. You sense the sweetness in the air, the invisible trace of life's gentle alchemy, happening silently beneath the green surface. Carbon's journey is slow and steady, a patient weaving of molecules that connects earth and sky in a seamless flow. This soft embrace holds the rhythm of seasons, the slow turning of years, and the steady heartbeat of the planet. You feel a quiet awe for this invisible dance, for the way something as unseen as carbon dioxide can hold such meaning, such life-giving promise. It reminds you that the world is a delicate web of connection, where every breath you take is tied to the soft green whispers of leaves. The leaf, with its shimmering surface and hidden chambers, becomes a sanctuary for this silent exchange, a place where sky, water, and light come together to birth life anew. This cycle of carbon and sugar flows endlessly, a gentle current beneath the visible world. As you breathe out, you release carbon back into the air, part of this quiet conversation that sustains us all. You feel the harmony of this exchange, a soft rhythm that invites you to listen more deeply to the subtle forces shaping life's endless dance. And as the sugars form and nourish, you wonder what happens next, how this quiet energy moves beyond the leaf, fueling growth and connecting every living thing in a vast, gentle web of life. You step softly into the heart of the leaf, where the light has already been caught, and water has arrived on its patient journey. Here, something quietly extraordinary is happening, a transformation so subtle and profound it feels like a secret whispered by the very fabric of life. Imagine this space as a calm workshop, tucked away beneath the green surface, where molecules gather like artists preparing their tools. The energy, captured from sunlight, the gentle touch of water's electrons, and the soft embrace of carbon dioxide come together in a delicate dance, the Kelvin cycle, weaving invisible threads into something sweet and sustaining. This sugar, called glucose, is the leaf's treasure, the sweet spark that feeds every growing thing. It is not just nourishment, but the very currency of life's unfolding, the spark that lights the slow flame of growth in roots, stems, and blooms. You feel the warmth of this quiet magic, like a gentle pulse spreading softly through the leaf's veins. The transformation begins as energy from ATP and NADPH, those tiny power packs born from light, flow into a series of steps, each like a note in a soothing melody. Carbon dioxide molecules enter this cycle, and through a series of gentle chemical embraces, their atoms rearrange, bonding with others to form simple sugars. You picture this as a weaving of light, water, and air, an alchemy that transforms invisible energy into something tangible, sweet, and full of promise. The sugars are tiny bundles of stored sunlight, packed with potential, ready to fuel growth or rest as starches within the leaf. Each sugar molecule is like a seed of possibility, waiting to travel beyond this quiet chamber. Some move into the leaf's veins, carried by the phloem, the plant's network for distributing nourishment. You imagine sugars flowing like a slow river, meandering through the plant's body, reaching roots, flowers, and fruits everywhere life asks for energy to grow. This gentle movement connects every part of the plant in a calm exchange, the quiet pulse of sustenance flowing outward, nourishing not just the leaf, but the entire organism. It is a reminder that life is a web of connections, a soft and steady rhythm where every part supports the whole. As you watch this transformation unfold, you notice how the leaf balances giving and receiving, turning light and air into sustenance. Without haste or noise, it is a patient process, paced by the slow rise and fall of the sun, the subtle shifts of water and air, and the steady beat of life's ancient pulse. You sense the leaf's quiet power, a gentle factory working tirelessly, turning sunlight into sugar, a sweet, sustaining magic born of earth and sky. This is the alchemy that feeds forests, gardens, and fields, the silent song of growth echoing through every green space. And as the sugars flow softly through the veins, you wonder about the next step, how this sweet energy becomes the wood of trees, the petals of flowers, and even the bread on your table. The journey of sugar is far from over. Stretching outward like the branches of the tree itself, you pause in a quiet forest clearing, feeling the soft pulse of the world's breath around you. The air is alive with a gentle exchange, a tender cycle where leaves breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, sending life's gift back to the sky in a slow, steady rhythm. This breathing is ancient and unseen, yet you feel its presence as surely as the rise and fall of your own chest. Each leaf is a tiny lung, expanding and contracting with the soft sighs of the earth itself. The rustling trees join in this peaceful chorus, their green surfaces releasing oxygen, the invisible breath that sustains you, me, and every living creature. The oxygen you inhale was once part of a water molecule, split apart by sunlight deep inside a leaf. It escapes through the stomata, those tiny portals on the leaf surface, like a whispered thank you to the world. This quiet gift floats upward, mingling with the vast atmosphere, weaving into the air you now breathe. You imagine this exchange as a dance, slow, deliberate, and deeply connected. The leaf takes what it needs from the air, carbon dioxide, and in return offers oxygen, a breath for all living beings. It is a soft contract of give and take, a balance maintained by the patient cycles of nature. This rhythm hums beneath your skin as you breathe in and out, linking your body to the vast web of life. You are part of this great breathing, a single note in the endless song of earth and sky, water and light dot with every inhalation. You draw in the leaf's gift, feeling the quiet power of photosynthesis sustaining you. With every exhalation, you return carbon dioxide, the silent partner in this endless conversation, ready once again to be transformed by green leaves and gentle light. The rhythm continues, slow and steady, a calm heartbeat shared by forest and field, city and sea. The world breathes through leaves as you do through your lungs, a peaceful cycle that sustains all life in its tender embrace. And as the breeze carries this breath across the land, you begin to wonder, how does this gift of oxygen shape the life that thrives beyond the leaf? How does it connect all living things in this quiet, unseen dance? You gently lean closer, your mind turning inward to explore the hidden world beneath the leaf's shimmering green surface. Here, the grand symphony of life reveals its most intimate players, the hidden architects, tirelessly at work in silence. These microscopic structures, invisible to your eyes, but vital beyond measure, hold the keys to the leaf's quiet alchemy. First, you see the chloroplasts, those tiny green factories nestled within each plant cell. They are the architect's workshop, home to a delicate architecture shaped by evolution's patient hand. Within each chloroplast lies a labyrinth of membranes, folded like delicate pages of a book, the thylakoids. These thylakoids stack gently like tiny discs, forming what are called grana. Picture them as carefully arranged shelves, each filled with the tools needed to catch sunlight and begin its transformation. Their surfaces glisten, catching every stray photon, directing it into the intricate machinery that hums with quiet energy. You imagine enzymes as master builders and conductors, invisible hands guiding every step of this living assembly line. They accelerate reactions with grace and precision, shaping molecules and guiding energy along a carefully choreographed path. These enzymes work like clockmakers, crafting time and motion into the rhythm of photosynthesis. Together, these structures create an elegant dance floor, where light energy pulses through chlorophyll molecules embedded in the thylakoid membranes. Each photon captured is transformed into excited electrons, sent flowing through a chain of proteins, like a slow-moving river of energy. This flow, called the electron transport chain, is a delicate relay, passing energized electrons with meticulous care. Along this path, energy is harvested and stored in the form of ATP and an ADPH, those vital energy carriers you've come to know. These molecules are the currency of life's work, fueling the chemical reactions that follow in the leaves. Quiet heart, you picture this microscopic world as a gentle, humming city, every part in balance, every movement purposeful. The chloroplasts and their thylakoids, the enzymes guiding reactions, the pigments capturing light, all working together in seamless harmony. This tiny world is where sunlight becomes life's pulse, where energy captured from the distant sun is transformed into the building blocks of growth and renewal. It is a silent orchestra playing the music of life, invisible but endlessly vital dots. As you dwell in this quiet place, you sense a profound connection, a reminder that within every leaf, an entire universe of life's machinery is at work. These hidden architects shape the slow, steady flow of energy that sustains the world, turning light into life's gentle breath. And as the microscopic dance continues, you begin to wonder about the larger patterns, how these countless tiny acts weave together into the vast, living tapestry of Earth's green world. What stories do these architects tell when seen from afar, in forests, fields, and gardens? You find yourself drifting gently through the unfolding tapestry of seasons, carried on the soft currents of sunlight and time. The world around you changes slowly, a quiet dance between light and shadow, warmth and coolness, growth and rest. This ebb and flow is the heartbeat of the earth, pulsing softly through every leaf, branch, and blade of grass dot as winter approaches. The light grows faint, folding itself into shorter days and softer angles. You feel the earth slow its breath, settling into a hush. Photosynthesis, that tender alchemy of light and life, moves into quiet pause. Leaves that once shimmered with vibrant green curl and fade. Trees stand bare and still, resting under a blanket of silence. Yet even in this stillness, life is present, a patient waiting, a deepening of calm. Beneath the surface, roots hold steady, and seeds nestle softly in the soil, cradled by the earth's cool embrace. Photosynthesis has slowed, but it has not ceased. Like a soft murmur beneath a peaceful sleep, it awaits the returning sun. Then, slowly, the days lengthen. Light grows stronger, warmer, reaching deeper into the world. You feel a stirring beneath the soil, a whisper of green returning. Buds swell, stretching toward the sky in a gentle reaching for sunlight. The world breathes anew as spring arrives, and photosynthesis awakens with it, pouring fresh energy into leaves and stems. Summer arrives in full bloom, and photosynthesis flows like a vibrant river, abundant, lively, and warm. The sun's rays pour steadily through the canopy, fueling the leaf's quiet factories as they work tirelessly to turn light into sugar, energy into growth. You feel the pulse quicken, a rush of life spreading through the landscape. Each leaf drinks in the light, each root drinks in the earth, all part of a seamless rhythm. The world feels alive with possibility, every moment humming with growth and movement. Photosynthesis is at its fullest, a soft symphony of energy weaving through the vast green tapestry. Then, as autumn whispers near, the light shifts again, softer, cooler, tinged with golden hues. Leaves begin their slow farewell, their chlorophyll fading, revealing warm reds and ambers. The flow of photosynthesis slows once more, the plant conserving its precious energy, preparing for the coming rest. You sense the gentle turning of this cycle, the slow dance of seasons guiding the pulse of life. Photosynthesis moves with the rhythms of earth and sun, ebbing and flowing like the tide, steady and unhurried. This endless cycle, this dance of light and life, carries the world forward, a quiet, steady heartbeat that ties you to the ancient rhythm of the natural world. You feel yourself a part of this great flow, connected by the gentle breath of seasons turning, day by day, year by year. And as the light wanes and waxes, you begin to wonder, How does this slow rhythm shape the countless lives that depend on this quiet magic? What stories live in the soft pulse of growth and rest? You settle into the soft quiet of nightfall, the world around you bathed in a gentle dimness, where shadows cradle the earth in peaceful rest. Your mind wanders back along the path you have traveled, from the first whisper of light on a single leaf to the invisible currents of air that weave through forests and cities alike. Photosynthesis, you realize, is not just a process confined to leaves or sunlight. It is a breath shared by all living things, a tender thread weaving you, the trees, the soil, and the sky into one vast, living tapestry. This quiet alchemy shapes the very air you breathe, the food that nourishes your body, and the rhythms that sustain the planet's heart. You feel this connection deep within, a soft pulse linking you to the smallest green leaf and the tallest ancient tree. Every breath you take carries the legacy of this silent work. Oxygen released in the dance of light and life, sugars formed in the quiet chambers of leaves, energy flowing through roots and rivers of green dots. The world's great web of life hums gently beneath your skin, its rhythms slow and steady, a calming song sung by chloroplasts and leaves, by wind and rain, by sun and soil. You are part of this endless exchange, a note in the universal symphony that has played for billions of years. As you listen to this quiet song, you sense a gentle invitation to rest within the glow of photosynthesis, to feel the steady pulse of life carried by light itself. It is a calming presence, a reminder that you are held in the embrace of the natural world, connected to something vast and enduring. In this moment, you are both witness and participant in the breath of all things, the silent giving and receiving that makes life possible, that turns sunlight into growth, that carries the promise of tomorrow. You breathe in this truth, letting it soothe your mind and body, a lullaby sung by the earth itself. And as your thoughts drift softly, you realize that the story of photosynthesis is never truly finished. It flows on, a river of light and life, moving quietly through every leaf and every breath, carrying you gently into the calm mystery of night. Take a breath now, slow and deep. Feel your chest rise and fall, the gentle rhythm that has carried you through every moment of your life. With each exhale, you release something invisible yet profound, carbon dioxide, molecules that drift away from you like whispered secrets into the world. You cannot see these molecules, these tiny messengers that slip from your lungs, but they are there, floating on currents of air, beginning a journey far more wondrous than you might imagine. Each breath you release joins an ancient dance, a circulation that has been turning for billions of years, connecting every living thing on Earth in ways both beautiful and necessary. Close your eyes and picture these carbon dioxide molecules as they leave you, not as waste, but as gifts. They rise and swirl, carried by breezes that know the way to places you have never been. Some drift toward the great forests, where towering trees wait with arms outstretched, their leaves like countless green hands reaching for what you have given. Others float toward meadows dotted with wildflowers, or toward the quiet corners of your garden where herbs grow in the morning sun. The carbon in these molecules has traveled before. Perhaps some of it once lived in a dinosaur's breath, millions of years ago. Perhaps it danced in the foam of ancient seas, or rested in the heartwood of trees that fell before humans ever walked the earth. Now it carries your signature for a moment, a brief passenger in the endless circulation of life. As these molecules journey through the air, they encounter the leaves, thousands, millions of leaves, each one a small green laboratory humming with quiet purpose. The leaf does not grab these molecules roughly or demand their presence. Instead, it breathes them in through tiny pores called stomata, openings so small we would need a powerful microscope to see them, yet numerous enough to make each leaf a breathing, living thing. Imagine yourself shrinking down, becoming small enough to witness this gentle exchange. You float alongside the carbon dioxide molecules as they approach a leaf surface, drawn by something the leaf is quietly offering, a kind of molecular invitation. The stomata open like tiny doors, welcoming these traveling molecules into The leaf's inner world. Inside the leaf, something magical awaits. The carbon dioxide molecules find themselves in chambers filled with water and touched by sunlight that filters through the leaf's green ceiling. Here, in this sanctuary of chlorophyll, the real wonder begins. The carbon that was once part of your breath becomes part of something entirely new, something that will nourish and sustain life in ways both simple and profound. But this is not a hurried process. It unfolds with the patience of nature itself, molecule by molecule, in a rhythm as steady as your heartbeat. The leaf holds these carbon dioxide molecules gently, the way you might hold a bird that has landed in your palm, with care, with reverence for what is about to happen. You sense the water within the leaf, drawn up from roots that reach deep into the earth, carrying minerals and moisture from soil that has been enriched by countless seasons of growth and decay. This water meets the carbon dioxide you once breathed, and together they wait for the third partner in this ancient dance, the light that streams down from the sun, traveling 93 million miles to participate in this moment of creation. The sunlight that touches this leaf left the sun's surface just 8 minutes ago, but the energy it carries has been building for millions of years in the sun's core, where hydrogen atoms fuse together in a dance of fire and fusion. Now this energy, warm and golden, filters through the leaf surface and finds the chlorophyll molecules waiting like tiny antennae, perfectly designed to capture light and transform it into something life can use. In this meeting of carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight, you witness the foundation of almost all life on Earth. It is a process so fundamental that it has shaped our entire planet, filling our atmosphere with the oxygen you breathe, creating the food that nourishes every creature, from the smallest bacteria to the largest whale. Yet it happens quietly, without fanfare or announcement. The leaf does not celebrate its achievement or demand recognition for this miracle it performs thousands of times each second. It simply continues its work, breathing in what you have breathed out, transforming it with the help of water and light into something new. You begin to understand that you are not separate from this process, but part of it. The carbon dioxide you exhale becomes the foundation for the sugar that plants create, and that sugar, in various forms, eventually finds its way back to you as food. The oxygen released by the leaves becomes the very air you breathe. You are connected to every plant, every tree, every blade of grass through this invisible circulation of breath and life. This connection extends beyond the plants near you. A molecule of carbon dioxide you exhale today could travel thousands of miles before finding its way into a leaf in a distant forest. It might be absorbed by algae floating in the ocean, or captured by a cactus in a desert you will never see. Your breath becomes part of the Amazon rainforest, the African savanna, the kelp forest swaying beneath the waves. There is comfort in this connection, a sense of belonging that goes deeper than any human community. You are part of the planet's breathing, part of its circulation of life and energy. Every exhale is a gift to the green world around you, and every inhale is a gift from that world back to you. As you rest here, breathing slowly and peacefully, you can feel this ancient rhythm carrying you. Your breath connects you to the great cycles of Earth, to the patient work of leaves and the generous light of the sun. You are held by this network of exchange, this tender relationship between what you release and what the world receives. The carbon dioxide molecules you breathed out just moments ago are already beginning their transformation, already becoming part of something beautiful and nourishing. Soon, with the help of water and light, they will become sugar, the sweet foundation of life itself, ready to fuel growth and dreams and the endless creativity of living things. Deep within the green sanctuary of the leaf, where your exhaled breath has found its purpose, something extraordinary begins to unfold. You find yourself witnessing the most elegant transformation in all of nature. The birth of sugar from nothing more than light, water, and the carbon dioxide that once lived in your lungs. This is alchemy in its truest form, not the mythical transformation of lead into gold, but something far more precious, the conversion of sunlight into the sweet foundation of all life. Here, in chambers so small they exist beyond the reach of your naked eye, the most important chemistry on Earth takes place with a grace and precision that would humble any master craftsman. Picture yourself floating within this microscopic world, watching as the three essential ingredients come together in their ancient dance. The carbon dioxide molecules, still carrying the memory of your breath, drift into position. The water, drawn up from deep roots that have tasted the Earth's hidden minerals, pulls in readiness. And the sunlight, that 8-minute-old messenger from our star, streams through the leaf's green ceiling, carrying with it the concentrated energy of nuclear fusion. The chlorophyll molecules, those tiny light catchers embedded in the leaf's cellular architecture, begin to vibrate with captured energy. They are like green antennae, perfectly tuned to absorb the red and blue wavelengths of sunlight while reflecting the green that gives the leaf its color. Each chlorophyll molecule becomes a miniature power plant, converting light into chemical energy with an efficiency that human technology can only dream of achieving. You watch as this captured light energy begins to work its magic on the water molecules. The energy is so precisely applied that it splits these simple molecules apart, separating hydrogen from oxygen with surgical precision. It is not a violent breaking, but a gentle parting, like dancers gracefully separating to take new partners. In an elaborate choreography, the oxygen, liberated from its partnership with hydrogen, begins its journey toward freedom. These oxygen molecules will soon slip through the leaf stomata and into the air you breathe, but for now they wait their turn, patient participants in this carefully orchestrated process. They represent the breath of the plant world, the gift that green things have been giving to the atmosphere for billions of years. Meanwhile, the hydrogen atoms, freed from their water molecules, begin their own crucial role in this molecular ballet. They carry with them the energy that was captured from sunlight, energy that will be used to forge new bonds, to create something that has never existed before in precisely this way. The carbon dioxide molecules, those travelers from your breath, now encounter these energized hydrogen atoms in a series of chemical reactions so complex and beautiful that scientists have spent decades mapping their intricacies. It is called the Calvin cycle, named after the researcher who helped decode its secrets, but you might think of it as the great wheel of creation, turning slowly and steadily to build sweetness from simplicity. One by one, carbon atoms are plucked from the carbon dioxide molecules and woven together with hydrogen and oxygen into increasingly complex structures. First, simple sugars begin to form, glucose molecules that are perfectly balanced arrangements of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Each glucose molecule contains exactly 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms, arranged in a ring structure that would be beautiful to behold if you could see it clearly. But the leaf's alchemy does not stop with single sugar molecules. These glucose units become building blocks for larger, more complex carbohydrates. Some link together to form sucrose, the table sugar you know, sweeter and more stable than its simpler cousins. Others join in long chains to create starch, the plant's way of storing energy 4 times when sunlight is scarce or when growth demands extra fuel. You sense the profound generosity in this process. The leaf creates far more sugar than it needs for its own survival. This excess becomes food for every creature that depends on plants, the caterpillars that nibble on leaves, the deer that browse on tender shoots, the humans who harvest grains and fruits. Even carnivores depend on this process, for they eat the creatures that eat the plants, making them dependent on photosynthesis in ways they may never realize. The sugar molecules, fresh from their creation, begin to move through the leaf circulation system. Like tiny packages of concentrated sunlight, they travel through vessels called phloem, distributed to every part of the plant that needs energy. Some go to growing root tips, pushing deeper into the soil. Others fuel the creation of new leaves, flowers, or seeds. Each molecule carries within it the memory of the sunlight that created it, the water that nourished it, and the carbon that once lived in your breath. This transformation from light to sugar happens continuously, as long as the sun shines and the leaf can access water and carbon dioxide. It is a process so fundamental that it predates almost every other form of life on Earth. Before there were animals, before there were fungi, there were simple organisms learning to capture sunlight and turn it into sugar. They were the first to discover this alchemy, and they shared their secret through evolution, passing it down through billions of years to the plants that surround you now. As you contemplate this process, you begin to understand that every sweet taste you have ever experienced traces back to this moment of creation in the leaf. The sugar in an apple, the starch in bread, the nectar in a flower, all of it began as sunlight striking chlorophyll, as water being split apart, as carbon dioxide being woven into new forms. Every meal you eat contains concentrated sunlight, energy that traveled from the sun's core to your table through the patient work of plants. There is something deeply satisfying about understanding this connection. The boundary between yourself and the natural world becomes softer, more permeable. You are not just an observer of photosynthesis, you are a participant. Your breath provides the carbon, your presence witnesses the miracle, and eventually, the sugar created here will become part of you, fueling your thoughts, your movements, your dreams. The leaf continues its quiet work around you, producing sugar molecule by molecule, breath by breath. It asks for nothing in return except the simple gifts you naturally provide, the carbon dioxide you exhale, the wonder you bring to witnessing its work. In this exchange, you find a perfect example of nature's reciprocity, the way giving and receiving flow together in an endless cycle of mutual support. And as each new sugar molecule completes its formation, the leaf prepares to offer its own gift back to the world, the oxygen that will soon dance on the wind, ready to fill your lungs with the breath of green things. Listen closely to the silence around you, and you will hear it, the soft, continuous exhalation of the plant world. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every tree stretching toward the sky is breathing out, releasing oxygen molecules that rise like invisible prayers into the atmosphere you depend upon. This is the other half of photosynthesis, the generous gift that plants offer in return for the carbon dioxide you provide. As sugar forms in the leaf's green chambers, oxygen is liberated, not as waste, but as abundance, as the planet's way of ensuring that life can flourish in all its myriad forms. You cannot see these oxygen molecules as they slip through the tiny pores of leaves, but you can sense their presence in the freshness of morning air, in the way your lungs feel satisfied after a walk through the forest. Each breath you take contains millions of these molecules, each one born in the heart of a leaf through the splitting of water by captured sunlight. Imagine the journey of a single oxygen molecule as it leaves the leaf where it was created. It drifts upward, carried by currents of warming air, joining the great atmospheric circulation that wraps around the Earth like a living embrace. This molecule might travel thousands of miles before it finds its way into someone's lungs, or it might be breathed in by a passing bird, or dissolved into a stream where fish will extract it through their gills. The oxygen you breathe right now has been on countless journeys. Some of it was released by the Amazon rainforest, where millions of trees work together to produce more oxygen than almost anywhere else on Earth. Some came from algae floating in distant oceans, microscopic plants that collectively release more oxygen than all the forests combined. Some was exhaled by the houseplant on your windowsill, quietly contributing its small but vital share to the air you breathe. This circulation of oxygen connects you to every photosynthetic organism on the planet, the tree outside your window, the seaweed swaying in coastal waters, the tiny phytoplankton drifting in the open ocean. All of them are breathing out what you breathe in, creating an invisible network of mutual dependence that spans the entire globe. There is a rhythm to this planetary breathing, a slow pulse that has been steady for millions of years. During the day, when sunlight powers photosynthesis at its peak, more oxygen flows into the atmosphere. At night, when photosynthesis slows but respiration continues. The balance shifts slightly. Across seasons, the rhythm changes too. More oxygen in summer when leaves are full and active, less in winter when many plants rest in dormancy. You're part of this rhythm, your own breathing synchronized with the greater breathing of the earth. When you inhale, you participate in an exchange that began billions of years ago, when the first photosynthetic organisms started releasing oxygen into what was then a very different atmosphere. Over countless millennia, these tiny organisms transformed our planet's air, making it suitable for the complex life forms that would eventually include you. The oxygen in your bloodstream right now carries the signature of this ancient process. As it travels through your body, powering your cells, enabling your thoughts, it will eventually be combined with carbon and released as carbon dioxide when you exhale. That carbon dioxide will then begin its own journey, seeking out a leaf where it can be transformed back into sugar and oxygen, completing the cycle that connects all breathing things. This exchange is so fundamental that it shapes the very composition of our atmosphere. About 21% of the air around you, oxygen, a concentration that has been maintained by the patient work of plants for millions of years. Too little oxygen, and complex life could not exist. Too much, and the world would be prone to devastating fires. Plants maintain this delicate balance through their constant, quiet breathing. In forests, you can sense this breathing more intensely. The air feels different there, richer somehow, charged with the collective exhalations of thousands of trees. Each leaf adds its contribution to the oxygen flowing around you, creating an atmosphere that seems almost alive with possibility. Indigenous peoples have long understood this, recognizing forests as the lungs of the earth, places where the planet's breathing is most visible and vital. Even in cities, plants continue their generous breathing, working to refresh air that has been filled with the byproducts of human activity. Street trees, park lawns, rooftop gardens, all of them are quietly filtering the air, taking in carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen that makes urban life possible. They are partners in the great breathing of the world, helping to maintain the atmospheric balance that keeps life flourishing. As you rest here, breathing slowly and peacefully, you can feel yourself settling into this larger rhythm. Your inhale draws in oxygen that was released by plants near and far. Your exhale provides carbon dioxide that will nourish the next round of photosynthesis. You are not separate from this process, but woven into it, a breathing being in a breathing world. The oxygen molecules entering your lungs carry stories of their creation: sunlight captured by chlorophyll, water split by energy, the patient work of cellular machinery too small to see, but too important to overlook. Each breath connects you to the vast network of life that makes your existence possible, reminding you that you are held by the generous breathing of the earth itself. And deep within the leaves around you, in chambers smaller than you can imagine, the microscopic architects of this breathing continue their work, the elegant machinery that makes all of this abundance possible. Journey with me now into the hidden world that exists within every leaf, a realm so small that it lies beyond the reach of your eyes, yet so important that all life depends upon its quiet work. Here, in chambers that exist at the very edge of the visible world, live the true architects of photosynthesis, are structures so elegantly designed and perfectly organized that they make the most sophisticated human technology seem crude by comparison. Imagine yourself shrinking down, becoming smaller than the tiniest insect, smaller than the finest grain of sand, until you can slip through the walls of a single leaf cell. You find yourself in a vast interior space, a cellular city humming with purposeful activity. Floating throughout this space, like green submarines, are hundreds of oval-shaped organelles, called chloroplasts, the power plants of the plant world. Each chloroplast is a marvel of biological engineering, containing within its boundaries everything needed to capture sunlight and transform it into the chemical energy that powers life. These structures are so perfectly designed for their task that they were likely once independent organisms, ancient bacteria, that learned to harness light billions of years ago and eventually became permanent partners with plant cells through the slow dance of evolution. As you approach one of these chloroplasts, you can see that it is not simply a green blob, but a sophisticated structure with its own architecture. Wrapped in a double membrane, a building within a building, the chloroplast contains an interior space filled with a thick fluid called stroma, where many of the chemical reactions of photosynthesis take place. But the real magic happens in structures even smaller and more intricate. Suspended within the stroma, like delicate green coins, are hundreds of disc-shaped structures called thylakoids. These are stacked together in piles called grana, creating a vast internal surface area where the light-capturing reactions of photosynthesis occur. If you could unfold all the thylakoid membranes in a single leaf, they would cover an area many times larger than the leaf itself, an elegant solution to the challenge of maximizing the surface available for capturing light. Each thylakoid membrane is embedded with thousands of chlorophyll molecules, those green light catchers that give plants their color. But chlorophyll does not work alone. It is surrounded by helper molecules, called accessory pigments, carotenoids that capture orange and yellow light, and other compounds that extend the range of light wavelengths the plant can use. Together, these molecules form light harvesting complexes, molecular antennae that can capture photons and channel their energy with remarkable efficiency. You marvel at the precision of this system. When a photon of light strikes a chlorophyll molecule, it excites an electron to a higher energy state in less than a trillionth of a second. This excited electron then begins a carefully orchestrated journey through a series of protein complexes embedded in the thylakoid membrane, each one perfectly positioned to receive the electron and pass it along like runners in a molecular relay race. This electron transport chain is one of nature's most elegant machines. As the excited electron moves from complex to complex, its energy is captured and used to pump hydrogen ions across the thylakoid membrane, creating a concentration gradient that serves as a kind of molecular battery. The energy stored in this gradient will eventually be used to power the synthesis of ATP, the universal energy currency of living cells. But the electron transport chain does more than just capture energy. It also splits water molecules, using the energy from light to break the bonds that hold hydrogen and oxygen together. This process, called photolysis, happens at a specialized protein complex called photosystem 2, where clusters of manganese atoms work together to extract electrons from water molecules with surgical precision. You can almost sense the delicate choreography of this process, the way each component is positioned exactly where it needs to be. The way electrons flow through the system like electricity through a circuit designed by the most brilliant engineer. The splitting of water provides the electrons needed to replace those that were excited by light, while simultaneously releasing the oxygen that you will soon breathe. Moving deeper into the chloroplast, you encounter another set of molecular machines working in the stroma, the fluid-filled space surrounding the thylakoids. Here, a different kind of precision is at work as enzymes catalyze the reactions that fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules. The star of this process is an enzyme called rubisco, arguably the most important protein on Earth. Rubisco is a large, complex molecule that has evolved over billions of years to do one thing with extraordinary efficiency: grab carbon dioxide molecules from the air and attach them to organic compounds, starting the process that will eventually create sugar. Despite its crucial importance, rubisco works relatively slowly, processing only a few carbon dioxide molecules per second. To compensate for this, plants pack their chloroplasts with millions of rubisco molecules, making it one of the most abundant proteins on Earth. You observe the careful coordination between the light reactions happening in the thylakoids and the carbon-fixing reactions happening in the stroma. The ATP and NADPH produced by the light reactions provide the energy and reducing power needed to drive the Calvin cycle, where carbon dioxide is systematically incorporated into larger and larger organic molecules. It is a process that requires Precise timing and coordination, like a complex dance where every step must be perfectly synchronized. The more you explore this microscopic world, the more you appreciate the extraordinary engineering that makes photosynthesis possible. Every component is optimized for its function, from the way chlorophyll molecules are arranged to maximize light absorption, to the way enzymes are folded to create the perfect chemical environment for their reactions. Nothing is wasted, nothing is random. Every structure has been refined by billions of years of evolution to perform its role with maximum efficiency. You begin to understand that what seems like a simple process, plants using sunlight to make food, is actually the result of countless molecular machines working together in perfect harmony. Each chloroplast contains hundreds of thousands of these machines. Each leaf contains millions of chloroplasts, and each plant coordinates the work of billions of these microscopic factories. There is something deeply moving about witnessing this hidden world, about realizing that every breath you take, every bite of food you eat, depends on the quiet work of these unseen architects. They ask for nothing, make no noise, seek no recognition. They simply continue their patient work, day after day, season after season, converting light into life with a dedication and precision that humbles human achievement. As you prepare to return from this microscopic journey, you carry with you a new appreciation for the complexity that underlies the natural world's apparent simplicity. The green leaf that seems so basic from the outside reveals itself to be a masterpiece of biological engineering, a testament to the power of evolution to create beauty and functionality on scales both vast and minute. The hidden architects continue their work around you, in every plant, in every moment when sunlight touches chlorophyll, weaving the foundations of life from light itself. Time moves differently when you think in seasons, when you allow yourself to feel the great breathing of the earth as it tilts toward and away from the sun in its ancient dance around our star. Close your eyes and let yourself drift through the year, following the changing light that orchestrates the rhythm of photosynthesis across the turning world. Begin in spring. When the earth awakens from winter's quiet rest, you can sense it in the air, a subtle shift in the quality of light, a warming that penetrates deeper each day. The sun climbs higher in the sky, its rays striking the earth at angles that carry more energy, more promise. Days grow longer, and with each additional minute of sunlight, the plant world stirs with renewed purpose. In the buds that swell on bare branches, chloroplasts that have been dormant through the cold months begin to multiply and organize themselves. Like tiny factories preparing for increased production, they synthesize new chlorophyll molecules, repair the delicate machinery of photosynthesis, and ready themselves for the abundance of light that summer will bring. The first tender leaves unfurl, pale green and soft, their photosynthetic apparatus still developing, but already beginning to capture the strengthening rays. You witness the gradual acceleration of life's processes as spring progresses. Photosynthesis rates climb steadily, powered by the increasing intensity and duration of sunlight. Plants that have survived winter on stored energy begin to produce new sugar, fueling the burst of growth that transforms the landscape. Grass pushes through soil, flowers bloom in waves of color, and trees dress themselves in the fresh green of new leaves. Summer arrives like a symphony reaching its crescendo. The sun traces its highest arc across the sky, flooding the world with energy that seems almost too abundant to contain. This is photosynthesis at its peak, when the marriage of light and chlorophyll produces sugar at rates that will sustain not just the current season, but the seasons to come. Every leaf is a solar panel operating at maximum efficiency. Every blade of grass a tiny factory humming with the business of converting light into life. In the heart of summer, you can almost feel the earth growing. Forests deepen their green, meadows wave with the fullness of grass and wildflowers, and agricultural fields stretch toward harvest with the weight of grain and fruit. The air itself seems richer, charged with the oxygen that pours from millions of leaves working in the long, bright days. Photosynthesis has reached its annual peak, a celebration of the sun's power to fuel the living world. But even in this abundance, you sense the subtle preparation for change. Plants are not just making sugar for immediate use, they are storing it, packing it away in roots and seeds, in the wood of growing trees and the starch of swelling tubers. This is the season of surplus, when photosynthesis produces more than the present moment demands, creating reserves that will carry life through the leaner times ahead. As summer passes its peak, you begin to feel the first whispers of autumn's approach. The sun, though still strong, follows a slightly lower path each day, and the nights grow incrementally longer. The angle of light changes subtly, preparing the plant world for the great transformation that autumn will bring. Autumn arrives with its own spectacular beauty, a season when photosynthesis begins its graceful decline. As daylight hours shorten and temperatures cool, the delicate balance within leaves begins to shift. Chlorophyll production slows and eventually stops, allowing other pigments that were always present to finally show themselves. The carotenoids and anthocyanins that were masked by summer's green reveal themselves in brilliant yellows, oranges, and reds. You marvel at this revelation. The colors of autumn were there all along, hidden beneath the green of working chlorophyll. As photosynthesis winds down, these pigments emerge like a secret garden finally revealed. The leaf's working life is ending, but it departs in glory, its final act a display of beauty that takes your breath away. This is the season of harvest and preparation, when plants withdraw the precious resources they can salvage from their leaves and store them safely in roots, stems, and seeds. The sugar produced during summer's abundance is concentrated and preserved, ready to fuel next year's growth. Trees seal their leaf scars and prepare for dormancy, while annual plants pour their final energy into seeds that carry the promise of future springs. Winter comes with its own quiet beauty, a season of rest that is no less important than the seasons of growth. Photosynthesis slows to its annual minimum, limited by short days, low light angles, and cold temperatures that slow the chemical reactions of life. Deciduous trees stand bare against the sky, their chloroplasts dismantled, their energy stored safely in roots and wood. Evergreens continue their photosynthesis at a reduced pace, their needle-shaped leaves adapted to capture what little light winter provides. In this season of apparent dormancy, you begin to understand the deeper rhythms that govern life on Earth. The rest is not emptiness, but preparation, not death, but the gathering of strength for rebirth. Seeds lie dormant in the soil, carrying within them the stored sunlight of previous seasons, ready to burst into growth when spring returns. The roots of perennial plants hold reserves of sugar, patient and protected beneath the frozen ground. You sense the profound wisdom, these seasonal rhythms, the way life has learned to flow with the changing availability of light rather than fighting against it. Photosynthesis is not a constant process, but a tide that rises and falls with the Earth's journey around the sun. Each season brings its own gifts and requirements, its own pace and purpose in the great cycle of growth and rest. As you drift through this seasonal journey, you realize that you too are part of these rhythms. Your own energy levels rise and fall with the light, your mood shifting with the seasons in ways both subtle and profound. You are connected to the same sun that powers photosynthesis, subject to the same cycles of abundance and scarcity, growth and rest. The seasons remind you that life is not meant to be constant summer, constant growth, constant productivity. There is wisdom in the rhythms of expansion and contraction, in the balance between doing and being, between the vibrant activity of summer and the quiet reflection of winter. And as you rest here in this moment, you can feel yourself settling into whatever season surrounds you now, trusting in the larger rhythms that have guided life on Earth for billions of years, knowing that each season brings its own form of beauty and purpose.